there, guys, and welcome to another Get Ready With Me in History. I'm working with some long nails today, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. Anyway, this chair is really squeaky still. So anyway, welcome so much to Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, again, hi, how are you? Good. How are you doing? I hope you're good too. Happy Monday. Today is another Get Ready With Me in History, and today I am going to be talking about it's, you know, not so much of like a historical happening. Are my arms not the same length? No, they weren't. Okay, so it's not like a historical happening, but it's more like I'm going to be talking about one of the Egyptian goddesses, Sekhmet. And the reason is because I find her fascinating, and her story is kind of, I don't know, to me it's humorous. It's funny to me. There's like a funny bit of it to me, and you wouldn't think that it would be, but it is. So to me it's funny. But anyway, what I'm going to be doing is getting ready for the day. And it's a short day because I have a doctor's appointment, yay, that I have to go to. So anyway, it's going to be a quick one, but it's worth it because it's actually pretty interesting and a little funny. To me, it's funny. It may not be funny to you, but to me, it's funny. And yeah. So if you're curious, wow. That was horrible. If you're curious about what products I'm using, I will link to them down below. So let's get started. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Sekhmet, and she is a goddess from the Egyptian mythology or whatever you want to call it. Her other name is also called Sekhmet, and also spelled Sekhmet, S-A-K-H-M-E-T. The one that everybody's used to is the Sekhmet, which is S-E-K-H-M-E-T. Not that anybody cares. And then there was also an interesting spelling of her name called Scheme. Scheme, that's right. S-C-H-E-M-E, Scheme. And there was a bunch of other spellings of this woman, of this goddess's name. She is a warrior goddess, as well as the goddess of healing, believe it or not. When I first learned about her, it was the warrior, bloodlusty kind of thing going on. There's a mirror right in front of me. That's how I learned about her. So yeah. But anyway, she's always depicted as a lioness, or the half human, half lioness. You know, the head of the lion, the body of a woman. And she was often seen as the protectress of pharaohs and led them into warfare. Upon death, she would continue to protect the pharaohs, and so she would continue to protect them even after they pass on, go get the heart weighed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that kind of crap. Very important stuff. She is also a solar deity, and sometimes called the daughter of Ra. And she's often associated with the goddesses Hathor and Bastet. Bastet is the cat goddess, just so you know, the cat. And she bears the uraeus, which associates her with the Wadjet and royalty and the solar disk, which is why you often see her with the solar disk on her head. That's supposed to be a solar disk. I don't even know what the hell that is. Okay, so her name comes from the ancient Egyptian word for smim. It's S-H-M, which means the power of might. Her name, ancient Egyptian Sekhmet, Shmin, it's hard to pronounce. Old Coptic is spelled like a C-A-X-M-I. There's a lot going on here, and it's translated as the one who is powerful or mighty. I am very thirsty. Anyway, I should probably get going on this eyeshadow because I do have somewhere to be. My kids got into my brushes again. Are you guys surprised? I'm not. So anyway, what colors do I want to do today? was too purple. So her name means mighty, and she was also given titles such as the one before whom evil trembles. You would too if you saw this thing coming at you. She was very scary. And the mistress of the dread. Yeah. I mean, it's not very positive, her names, but you could also take it as a very powerful meaning behind them. I mean, she was a very powerful goddess, one to be feared. So yeah, I mean, she's a freaking lioness. Why not? And the Lady of Slaughter. That's the other one, the Lady of Slaughter. Yeah. And she who mauls. We'll get into why she's called that. You're probably sitting there going, what the heck? Why do these people like her? Well, she's scary. Now, she was considered the daughter of the sun god Ra, and was among the more important of the goddesses. I mean, you know, I'm going to use a little mirror because I've got a lot of stuff in front of me. So she was considered more important of the goddesses. And there was a time where Ra sends the goddess Hathor in the form of Sekhmet to destroy the mortals who conspired against him. So mortals that were conspiring against Ra, he's like, no. So he sends Hathor in the form of Sekhmet. Now, in this particular myth, her bloodlust is so bad that even after she destroys all of her enemies, like she kills them all, she is not satiated. She is not happy with this. She is not, she's like, no, it's not enough. I need more. So she just continues killing people. She wants more blood. She is out for blood. She is gonna get it. One way or another, this giant, scary cat thing is going to get what she wants. I mean, she's Sekhmet. She's gonna get what she wants. So she, this is so much easier to use. I'm sorry. I was looking at the glitter because you guys know how much I love glitter. So anyway, so she's not, you know, getting very satisfied by the amount of killing that she has done. So she just continues to do more. She is now out of control, and Ra's like, oh shit, what have I done? I sent my daughter down there, and now she's crazy and she's killing more people than I wanted her to. Okay, great. So she just basically, it was so bad that she destroyed almost all of humanity. That's how bad it was. Sekhmet almost destroyed it. She basically destroyed everyone and everything. So Ra had to fix this. You know, he had to fix his problem. So he went to her, and he took her cup, and he, you know, she had this thing for blood. She liked blood. So think of her as basically like a goddess of vampires would love. They would adore this one. Okay, so Ra takes a cup, he pours beer into it, and this beer has been dyed red. So Daddy Dearest here is pulling a little prank on his little girl. He is now dyeing her beer red. Now, remember how I said that she loved blood? She was bloodlusty. She wanted blood. She wanted to drink it. She wanted to just blah, blah, blah. She was a lioness, okay? She's like, yeah, gimme. So he dyes it with red ochre or hematite. So that way it looked like blood. Okay, so it very much looked like blood at this point. So he's like, good. So he gives it to her. So Ra's like, here, honey, drink this, daughter. You know, I want you to drink this for me. Can you drink this for Daddy Dearest? This is some good beer. Actually, he didn't call it beer. He probably was like, here, this is some good blood for you. I shouldn't have said beer because he was trying to pull a prank on her, and if he told her that, she probably wouldn't have freaking drank it. But anyway, he's like, drink this. This is good. It's yummy. So she mistaked the beer for blood. And she drank so much that she got so drunk that she gave up the slaughter and returned peacefully to her father, Ra. So she was like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm drunk now. I'm happy. She was drunk and happy, and she went back to she went back with her father. Yeah. So now I have read another one where she got so drunk that it was actually the villagers, the people, the humanity were the ones that, I forgot where I read this at, but the people were the ones that got her drunk off of beer that was tinted red like blood. And instead of returning to her father, she turned into Bast or Hathor or something like that. Like her form of Hathor. She turned back into Hathor. She didn't stay as Sekhmet. She turned back into Hathor. And so there was like this thing where I'm gonna have to remember where I saw this. It was like a legend. There's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot of depictions of her and how her mythology and stuff, but this one I read, and it may have just been in some book that was not historically accurate. I don't know. But she returned to Hathor, and some believe that if you give her an offering of beer, it will calm her down, so that way she will not continue to harass your family if you make her mad or something like that. Where the hell did I read that? It was so long ago, and I have read so many books on this stuff that they're probably getting smushy together in my brain, because that happens. I like this glitter. I love me some glitter. Anyway, so they're like, okay, stop with the glitter, crazy kook. All right, so that's one of her stories, and that was actually one of my favorites, and that's one of the reasons why I love her mythology so much, is because it's just like, whoa. She went absolutely psycho. And she just kept killing people, and they had to get her drunk to get her to stop. And yeah, for most people, if they drink, some people become violent and they become like unsatiable. She is the opposite. So if you're being terrorized by Sekhmet, the goddess, offer her some alcohol in the tinted red like blood. You'll be okay. She'll get drunk. She's a lush. She's a lightweight. It doesn't take much. In the legend with Ra, it says he only gave her one, or he gave her a small amount, but in the one that was with the humans, the mortals, they gave her a lot. She drank a lot of this blood, and she basically fainted or whatever became this. But Sekhmet is also considered the wife of the god Ptah, P-T-A-H, and the mother of his son Nefertum. And she was also said to be the mother of the lion god Mahis. M-A-A-H-E-S. Why am I spelling this for you? So just in case you're like, is that how it's actually pronounced? You can Google it and be like, oh, she is really fucking up. Yes, she knows. So those are one of her things. And, she's always envisioned in art as a fierce lioness because, she is. And I need some dark circle help today. Yeah, she's always depicted as a fierce lioness, and she always has like a lion head, the body of a woman. We talked about that, but that's usually how she's depicted. And she's always wearing red. So if you're coloring her in a coloring book, put her in red. I don't remember if I actually in my coloring book put her in red. I may not have, but she's in my new Egyptian coloring book. Yeah, and sometimes the dress she wears exhibits a Rosetta pattern over each breast, and then the ancient leonine motif, which is the associated to the shoulder knot hairs on lions. Occasionally, she was also portrayed in her statues and engravings with minimum clothing, or she was just butt naked. She's a drunk. I'm just kidding. Now, the royal bears were fashioned to represent Sekhmet, symbolizing her role as a protector, even in death. And they are also depicted in all images. Where's my concealer? Here we go. She's also depicted in all images, embalming rites, showing her head and the characteristic tuft tail and her feet. In the tombs, the coffins were placed on them. So basically the coffins were placed on like her feet, her tail, and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. And you're like, is it really? I'm like, yes, it is. Deal with it. So anyway, it is estimated that more than 700 statues of Sekhmet once stood in one funerary temple alone, and it was that of Amenhotep III on the west bank of the Nile. So there was at one time 700 statues of this giant lioness cat. And you know what? After the whole theology behind her and her mythology and her story, can you really blame Amenhotep III for putting up all those statues of her? He's probably like, I do not want this bitch coming after me in my sleep. You know, she's supposed to be my protector, but what if she decides that I'm not honoring her enough and she starts killing everybody in my cities? I'm gonna put up a temple. That's probably not what happened. I'm just saying that's my personal thought, so don't quote me on anything. But if I was Pharaoh, I sure as heck would. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna put a temple, a mortuary temple, and I'm gonna make sure that she's everywhere because I'm scared of her. It also kind of shows you that women can be protectors, but we can also be really, really nasty when we need to be. So just think about that, okay? And you can, threaten someone with Sekhmet, be like, I'm going to get her, and she's going to come for you, and she's going to come at you, okay? So, yeah. So there was, times where they did worship her. She did actually get her own festivals, just like, the Apis bull would get his own stuff, and Amun would get his own festival. This lady would get her own festival too, darn right. And it was the festival of intoxication. I am not joking. It was they're like, well, she's known for her love of the booziness. Let's go ahead and do it. So the Egyptians would dance, they would play music, they would drink heavy quantities of wine ritually to intimidate the extreme drunkenness of this goddess. When she was given wine by Ra to quell her wrath, like, simmer down now. And, when she almost destroyed humanity. So they honor the fact that she was a lush. And she was a lightweight, as well as being a lush. So, yeah, they're like, okay, let's have this thing. And then, it was an excuse to drink. Let's just call it what it is. And this, may relate, this whole prophecy of her destroying humanity may also correlate with the whole flooding of the Nile that almost destroyed every, places in the beginning. And then, there's flooding that begins every year around that time, around the Nile, and that's basically how they kept their lands fertile, their crops fertile. If the river didn't rise and flooded, they would think Pharaoh did something wrong. They've messed up with the gods. So, yeah. Because it would also bring this really blood-rich red silt from upstream of the Nile, and they would run kind of blood red. So everybody was like, okay, let's celebrate Sekhmet. Let's give her her own stuff. And how they found out about this festival was in 2006, and archaeologist Betsy Bryan with the Johns Hopkins University, excavating the Temple of Mut in Luxor, Thebes, presented her findings about the festival that included illustrations of the priestesses being served to excess alcoholic beverages, and its adverse effects on them, basically them getting completely spring break drunk. Okay? It was their spring break. They knew how to have fun, those ancient Egyptians. Come on. And then they had to be ministered to by they were ministered this treatment by the temple attendants. So they were constantly given this alcohol by the people that worked in the temples. So they're like, okay, here's your beer, here's your wine, get drunk, celebrate. So, and the participation by the locals were great. Everybody wanted to take part in this festival. They all wanted their alcohol. So they all took part in it. They all took part in this festival. And, yeah, there's findings that were in the Temple of Mut, because when Thebes rose to greater prominence, Mut absorbed some of the characteristics of Sekhmet. And these temple excavations at Luxor discovered the porch of drunkenness built onto the temple by the pharaoh Hatshepsut during her height of her 20-year reign. So she built a porch for drunkenness. So she, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to appease the gods, right? So you don't want them to take away your flooding. You don't want them to overflood. You don't want this cat coming for you and your people, because she'll kill everybody and then not stop until you get her drunk. Now, during the Greek dominance in Egypt, there was a note made of a temple for Mahes that was an auxiliary facility to a large temple to Sekhmet at Teramu in the Delta region, and a city which the Greeks called Leontonopolis. Woo! So that's pretty cool. She had her own city. Darn right she did. They didn't want that coming at them either, I guess. Can you blame them? Today is a powder day. I'm not feeling full foundation day. It's a powder foundation day. Yesterday I did my eyebrows so bad, it was horrible. Like, it's making me afraid to do them. But that is basically the story of Sekhmet. She was something else. She was a powerhouse goddess. You know, she's one of my favorites in the pantheon, as if you couldn't tell, because I'm talking about her so much, and I had to do a full video about her. So, I mean, she was an amazing goddess. She was powerful. She was strong. If I was a female pharaoh, I totally would make that like a thing. Like, yes, you're going to have your own temple because you're psycho and a badass, and I like that. You know, I mean, Hatshepsut made a porch of drunkenness in her honor at the temple. It was probably a place for people to go and sit and just be drunk at. I mean, what else would you do at a porch of drunkenness? But I find it fascinating. And her story, where she had to get completely wasted, naked wasted, was, you know, it always made me chuckle when I first read that when I was younger. A kid. I was just like, okay, this is a thing. Oh no, she did that. Crap. That's not gonna do shit. Whatever. That just made it worse. I love when I do crap like this. But anyway, yeah, she's one of my favorite goddesses for a reason, and the main reason is, you know, she was nuts. I mean, she wasn't always crazy. She was a guardian. She was a protector. You know, a lot of people would pray to her before war to make sure that they did it war right. Do war right. That is not a thing. Whatever. But, you know, they wanted to be successful, and they knew they could be if they had her on their side. So why not do what you need to do, right? This is really dark. And I'm going to be wearing a mask because I have a doctor's appointment. So it doesn't even matter if I do lipstick today or not. I mean, I have liquid lipsticks, but I'm just not in the mood to deal with it. I may just put it on anyway because I'm being a pain in the butt about it now. Okay, so, yeah, that is the story of Sekhmet. Again, saying it again. Yeah, she's just really fascinating. There's some other gods that are just as fascinating. from other ancient religions. Oh, what the heck did I do there? Like, okay, this is how you do it. The reason I keep blotting like that is because this is a glitter lipstick, so it's like a, if you do that, it makes the sparklies come to the top. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the more obscure gods and goddesses, you know, so they're interesting to me. And I did way too much concealer there. Holy crap. What the heck is up with me today? Ugh. Ugh. And now I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. Holy crap. What the heck is going on with... And then I just lost the lipstick that I just had in my hand. Stephanie, you are a hot mess today, girl. What the heck? How is that even possible that I just lost it and I just had it in my hand? Oh my God. And no, she's not doing her eyebrows today because I completely scared myself out of doing it from yesterday's nonsense mess. Where the heck is it? There it is. Oh, I found it. But yeah. There's some other gods from other Parthians that I want to talk about, and I should not have done that while talking. Fudge butter. Barnacles. So, yeah, there's some other gods from other pantheons that I really want to talk about because I just, again, find them insanely fascinating. But Sekhmet is the one that, for me, takes the cake. She's interesting. Her story is a bit humorous. You know, her dad sends her down to do a job. She does the job, and then she goes over and beyond and starts just destroying the world. You know? It's like, he's like, this is why we can't have nice things. But anyway, that's her story. Ta-da. If there's anybody else you want me to talk about, any other god or god, do you see this? If there's any other god or goddess that you want me to talk about, please comment down below. If there's any other historical stuff that you want me to talk about, comment down below. I'm trying to get the stuff together for the witch trials that happened in England under Edward the... I have to remember his name. It's not the 4th. I think he died when he was really young. Anyway, I'm working on that one. It's a lot of research. My eyebrows are a mess. Oh my God. It's Monday! And I'm filming this for a Wednesday. I got lipstick on my teeth. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And until next Wednesday, toodaloo. Bye.